This is going to be the Untapped Terrritory podcast. My name's Joe Barba. Don't come stalking me unless you're hot. And basically, what I'm going to kind of just explain over this little breakdown episode is how I got my name, what I kind of want to do with this podcast, and basically just like a little bit about me. It's going to be a little bit short, but it's going to be my introduction. So, a little bit about me, like, I'm not really new to social media per se. I'm a little bit newer to the whole visual aspect because me and a buddy from a couple years ago started a podcast. It was called Dirty Hands No Money. It didn't do terrible. It didn't do too great. But then again, we also didn't give it our full attention, our full time, effort, money. Whereas opposed to this, I decided to go balls to the wall. I decided to go out and buy a bunch of equipment, go out buy a MacBook, everything that I needed to make sure that I would be on the right step to success. And I feel like it's what you have to do, because it goes hand in hand with life. Like you can't half-ass something and expect a full result. And that's basically what I was trying to do then. Is I was just like, we were just doing what is the term? An audio. Fuck, I'm stupid. It was basically just an audio. But the problem with that is that, like, especially now in this time and age or this time of day, like, people have like very short attention spans, and it's kind of hard to grab someone's attention with just an audio file, especially with like TikTok being such a huge thing and YouTube being such a thing. It's hard to just get people to click onto Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music or wherever you have your platform posted to. It's very difficult. So I believe that it's very helpful and in the right step to get you successful if you post onto YouTube and TikTok, even short length clips just to bring you back to your full length one. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to succeed by doing this. I'll make a video later on everything that I bought. It might be like a little out of budget, because I was a full-time worker. So I didn't, I had a little bit more money to play with than probably the average person of doing it. So I probably dropped around like a little under 3 grand on everything that I had. But I did massive amounts of research, massive amounts of talking to people within stores just to making sure everything was compatible, what software to use and everything. But now I have a better idea. YouTube was hard because I feel like they talk about such higher level equipment as opposed to someone who's just a starter, and they make videos for beginners and stuff like that. But it's very like unrealistic to get everything that these people get, so it's just very complicated. But now to get into it, Untapped Territory. Basically, what I want the name to be based around is how my whole life I've kind of felt like a black sheep. Within family, within friend groups, I just feel like I was always like the one that was singled out. He was always like the outlier, and I don't really know if you guys feel like that too, but I mean, I'm sure that there's many people that do. So basically, just about me, like you could probably tell by my hat right here that I'm bald, right? I'm just about to be 22. Been bald for about 6 months. Everyone gives me so much shit, like whether it's like playful, whether it's whatever, but me personally, I don't really take it to heart. It's kind of like my choice to shave my head. I can grow my hair, but I choose not to. I don't like the way how thin my hair is, my bald spot, everything like that. So I choose to shave my head. And me personally, I feel like it's a good look on me. I feel like it fits me well. But being bald is not like the only thing that kind of goes against me. I feel like also, especially my friend group, everyone is whether 6 foot or pretty fucking close to it or just like a little bit above, So me kind of standing at 5'3", 200 pounds, stacked with muscle and a like you're definitely singled out and you're definitely the sore thumb of the group when you go out. Me personally, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's something different and something that people might look at kind of shit, but I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world. It kind of gives you an edge. But with everyone liking such tall guys and such masculine guys, it's kind of hard to swallow that fact that your parents had sex and now you're produced and you're only standing at 5'3", 5'4" with cowboy boots on. But that's a different story. And then I would say another thing is just how I'm tattooed, and I have my nose pierced, I have my cartilage pierced, I got my lobes pierced. And I feel like that's something that like no one in my family has, except for the girls. But like as a guy, I was really the only guy in my family to have tattoos. I was the only one with piercings. I was the only one that didn't go to college. So I feel like Black Sheep, baby. Didn't want the Black Sheep podcast though, because that name's already taken. So I'm trying to do something a little bit different. And also, I think Untapped Territory goes into what I'm trying to do, of how I'm trying to start a podcast and a platform and a following by doing something that other people aren't doing. And I think what that really is coming across and being very vulnerable, showing my weaknesses, not really putting on a facade, and don't really want to put on this tough guy act that maybe for my entire life I've been trying to really pursue, and I'm telling you, it gets very, very hard and it becomes very difficult to live out that expectation when so many people rely on you to be that person, which maybe you aren't all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong with having some weaknesses, having a vulnerable side, and showing a little bit of emotion every once in a while. Don't get me wrong, if I need to scrap, I have no problem doing it. Will I step away from a fight? Most likely, because I don't see an advantage in fighting unless it really comes down to it. Am I going to protect the people that I care about? For sure. But I feel like in most situations, you don't have to take that violence aspect. You don't have to put on this strong person facade, because in reality, it doesn't get you anywhere. And I feel like I kind of figured that out the hard way. But they say, good guys always finish last. And that's probably true. And actually, no, fuck that. It's definitely true. But one thing that I will say is that the people that you do treat right and the people that you do treat with respect, it comes tenfold, because they will treat you with that respect. Hopefully, that's the aspect, or that's the expectation, of course. So basically, that's what I'm trying to do. Is like I'm trying to come up here and I'm trying to show a side of me that maybe not a lot of people see. Because I feel like a lot of people in my life are like, oh, dude, that's some asshole, that's whatever, blah 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 blah, and that's probably true. Probably on some stages, I am an asshole, but for the people that I do care about and the people that I do ride with, I definitely fucking give them my heart, and I definitely go to the ends of the world for them. And I'm gonna have people on here that are some of my closest fucking friends that I've known for 10 plus years. I'm probably gonna have my cousin on here he's 21, and we've been fucking tight as fuck for 15 years, ever since he was able to talk. And then it's been fucking dope, dude. And I love that. I love having friends that would ride for me, and I'll ride for them, and it goes a long way. But basically, I'm just going to kind of talk about those big instances and how I necessarily think it's not such a bad thing to put yourself out online, go for the risks and everything like that. And sure, at times it might be a little bit too personal, might be a little bit too much for you guys to handle, but that's trying to... Come here, Bubba. This is my dog. That's Gunner Boy. He a little fucking monster. He eats everything in sight, but what do you want? So that's basically the premise and the direction that I'm gonna take with this. I was thinking of names, driving my way to Qdoba, and I was thinking like Off the Beaten Path. That's already taken. I was thinking about like the Black Sheep podcast. That one's already taken. I have one out there with my name. I have a fitness channel out there with my last name in it, and it's pretty witty. But I feel like goes a little bit further than that, other than a fucking clever, witty little pun on my last name. Because the Untapped Territory, basically, what it means to me is that it's explaining how you don't have to follow in everyone's footsteps. You don't have to do what your parents before you did. You don't have to do the things around you that people did to be successful, because everyone has their own direction, whether it be college, whether it be starting your own business, whether it be going to trade school, or whether it be dropping out to fully commit to social media. There's so many different things that you can do, but what I strongly believe in is that no matter what you fucking do, you have to go balls to the wall, and you have to do everything in your power to make what you're doing and what you're passionate about successful. because no one's gonna fucking help you. You know, everyone talks about it. Oh, this person helped me. This person helped me. In reality, it doesn't go like that. It's you don't get that benefit all the time. You know, and like that's why I feel like sometimes I'm so proud of myself, and maybe it's an ego thing, but I hold myself to a very high standard of if I want to do something, then I do it. And if I don't want to do something, then I'm very set on the idea of not doing it. And that's just maybe me sticking to my fucking guns. But let's get into it. Let's give a little breakdown of me, I guess. So when I was in high school, you know, I went through kind of like a midlife crisis, I guess you could say, even though I was only fucking 15, young, dumb, and stupid. But um, I was very set on the idea of military, the Navy to be exact. And I don't think there's anything wrong with going into the military. I think it's a great career path. I think it's a great choice for some people. For me personally, at that time, I thought it was the best for me. I didn't necessarily want to do combat. I didn't think that I could handle all that shit, but I wanted to go in and be a welder. But then I started thinking about it and I'm like, do I want to be away from home? See, a family is so important to me. Do I really want to be away from home? Do I want to be away from all the people that I care about? At that time, no. You know, I couldn't see myself doing that. So instead, I fell in love with the idea of welding. I was in my metal shop classroom, fucking hours on hours a day. I was there outside of my actual class. I was going on my lunch. I was going there early. I was staying after school because I loved the idea of making something from nothing. And honestly, it kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to take something that's nothing and make it into something better that people can appreciate and people can look at and see the true devotion and persistence and fucking calculation to it all. And that's why I love like metalwork. It was so fun to me. It was so exciting, you know, and if you have an idea, you can create. And that was my favorite thing is I feel like I'm so creative, you know? So innovation that excites. I think that's Toyota. If it's not, fuck it. Don't fire me. Wait, don't cancel me or whatever the fuck. But so I love that idea. And then straight out of high school, I got a job working at some sandblasting place. Did I love it? No. Was it the best job for me? At the time, yeah, maybe. Taught me a lot. You know, I learned a lot from working there. I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about customer service. And I kind of learned a lot about about myself, I guess you could say. So basically, after that job, I kind of just worked a couple other ones, you know, nothing too crazy. But I was in trade school at the time. And I ended up failing out of trade school because I didn't have enough credits. Because this was peak COVID time. So I graduated high school in 2020. And I went to trade school in September of 2021. Around March of 2021, I feel like was crazy peak. Like everything was fucking shut down to the maxes, even though it was still before that. But that was around the time that I was supposed to graduate. And with the classes being online and me not being very tech savvy, like I couldn't fucking figure out how to get into the classes, and I wasn't good at reading my email. I wasn't consistent like that. So I ended up missing too many classes. I think I missed it by like 3 shop hours, which isn't something insane, you know. But I had one of the highest in the classes, or one of the highest grades in the class, and I really fucking gave it my all when I was there, you know, because I liked it so much. But I ended up failing. And what are you gonna do? You know, like you're gonna fucking sit and cry and bitch and moan? No. Dude, you're gonna fucking get on your shit and you're gonna go find a job that doesn't require you to have a certification. May I go back and get my certification? Who knows? Who knows where the fucking world is gonna take me? But for the time being, I didn't need one. I found probably about 4 or 5 jobs that didn't require me to have a certification. And so I was kind of set. And I was making good money. I was making real good money too. So recently, I tore my ACL, which I did in 2019 from like a wrestling match or whatever. I tore my ACL and my MCL. It fucking broke me. It completely destroyed my confidence. It destroyed the ego of myself because I held myself to such a high standard of I'm fucking invincible, you know? And I feel like a lot of people, especially a lot of young people, believe that so heavily that nothing can touch them. Nothing's gonna hurt them and break them down. But it was like a reality check for me, you know? And I feel like it was such a big day and it fucking killed me internally. I was so upset. I was like, not necessarily depressed, but it was like, I couldn't see an end goal. I couldn't see a future there. And it was so fucking devastating to say the least, you know? But it was such a big day for me that I went out and I got a tattoo of my surgery date on my arm right here. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it. Fuck, where am I going? Right here. It's like the Roman numeral. September 10th, 2019 was the day that I had surgery. And it's just a really big day for me. So now fast forward to now. I'm working a job as an upfitter. I can necessarily say the company, but I was working a job as an upfitter, working on trucks, you know, like so basically that same kind of premise of building, creating, sending out so other people can enjoy it and appreciate the work that's gone into it. And I hurt my knee, you know, and probably I still have that young, dumb aspect of waking up late and not being on my fucking shit, but I'm really trying to better myself and improve myself in that department. But one thing that I will say is that when I showed up to work, I was there to work. It's just I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was going to bed at 12. I was still trying to live this lifestyle that I think a 21-year-old should have of going out and being a little bit reckless. And, you know, maybe that's fucking stupid. You know, maybe I should stick to improving myself and growing, you know, but it's something that no one's going to tell you. Or better yet, it's something that people are going to tell you, but you're not going to fucking listen because you're going to be like, nah, fuck you. You don't know what I'm capable of, you know? But I'm telling you, it affects you a lot. You know, and that's where I give a lot of respect to my parents and a lot of parents out there because parents will always say that to you. Like, oh, you're not invincible. Like, play it safe, you know, do this, blah, 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 blah. And, like, you can't do all this shit and expect to be successful because you're not giving it your full time, you know? And Gunnar, what are you eating, bro? So, like, that's kind of me being fucking stupid and reckless and dumb and not appreciating what I have and squandering all the things that I did have and not taking advantage of the opportunities. But now I'm in a lot better of a headspace, a lot better of a mindset. So I recently lost my job, but I hurt my knee. So I would say that the timing of it kind of worked out. I don't want to say perfectly, but almost perfect because I hurt my knee the weekend after losing my job. But so now I'm going like from appointment to appointment, seeing my orthopedic. I have an MRI set up for this week where I'll find out everything that I need to know. But my predictions are that I tore my ACL again in the other knee. So matching knee scars, baby. Double ACL reconstruction, baby. So I think it kind of worked out for me because I have money in the bank. You know, I not like a massive amount, but I have money to which I could pay my bills and I can focus on what I need to focus on. And what I think I need to focus on right now is just getting healthy. Because if I half-ass my recovery and all that shit, then I'm going to have fucking knee problems for the rest of my life, which I don't want because it's so miserable. But, so I'm wearing this big-ass bulky brace. I fucked up my knee because, again, I thought I was fucking invincible. I was at my buddy's college up in Pennsylvania, and I threw on a pair of Heelys. Thinking, damn, when I was 11, I used to rock these fucking things, not knowing that now I'm old and decrepit. Not really, but kinda. I'm older than I used to be. I'm not as fucking limber. But I ended up falling. I got caught in the crack of a sidewalk, falling, hyperextending my knee, and twisting it back when I fell back on it. And I heard a couple pops in my knee. And from previous experience of tearing my other ACL, I knew exactly what that fucking pain was immediately. And I went, holy shit, like, what the fuck am I going to do? I didn't care about the pain. I wasn't like, holy fuck, the pain is so bad. Because in reality, that was the last thing I was worrying about. I wasn't worrying about surgery, wasn't worrying about any of that shit. I was worrying about what am I going to do for money? What am I going to do to pay my fucking bills and all this shit? Because I had a goal of what I set for myself, and that goal was I don't want to live in Jersey because I live in Jersey right now, but I don't want to live in Jersey. I want to live either in a southern state or I want to go as far as Texas. And that sets me back a lot because if I'm not making money and I'm worrying about recovering and all this shit, how am I going to do the things that I want to do? I can't. I'm fucked, you know? So that aspect hit me hard. And I ended up coming home from Pennsylvania and I'm driving and I'm just like fucking down in the dumps, dude, deep in sorrow and shit. And playing like Zach Bryan and I'm like, motherfucker, what am I gonna do? Not actually crying, but you know what I mean. So I'm just like, fuck, bro, I am so screwed to the masses now. And then I'm thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? Let me take this as a fucking opportunity of building myself and putting myself where I think that I belong at a 21, almost 22-year old. And that aspect is I want to grow as a person. And around that same time, I was getting all of this podcast equipment in. I just bought a camera, I just bought a MacBook. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. What's a better time to focus on the social media aspect and focus on my recovery and, sorry, and all this shit than now? I'm spending so much time at home and fuck it, dude. So I started doing a bunch of research on shit that I need and shit that would work for me. And I'm looking at research on surgeries and all that shit. And I started fucking reading. Like, I don't read, bro. I guess you could say that I'm like an average jock or whatever. Because when I was in high school, I guess you could say like I had a little bit of popularity and I was well liked and I was always surrounded by girls and I was playing sports. And I don't want to fucking live that life. I don't want to live the life of the scenario jock of being fucking dumb and being and peaking in high school, you know, because that's a fucking terrible life to live. And if you're younger and you're listening to this, I will tell you this that high school life and life after high school is completely different. And you might think that high school is going to last forever and you're going to hold on to those fucking friends for the rest of your life. And in some cases, you might. But in most cases, you will not. Because dude, it changes, bro. People go away to college, people start working, and you'll figure out who's really there for you. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but in most cases, the people that you think are your best friends are not your best friends. And they will turn to fuck you over. Am I a victim to this? Yes. Am I guilty of this? 100%, you know, because just how it goes. Do I think that I was the best kid when I was younger? No. I was a fucking dick, dude. I treated people like shit and I expected respect in return. I never fucking got it because that's what it is. You treat people the way that people treat you. And basically, the premise of this podcast is basically just to me talk about how I'm trying to grow and how I'm trying to develop. And I feel like not a lot of people are out there doing this because it's always the comedic value. It's always the, oh, make me laugh and I'll follow you and I'll subscribe to you. And sure, there's going to be jokes along the way. You know, it's still my first one, so it's kind of like new to me and I'm trying to get comfortable behind the camera, especially by myself. Because when I was in a podcast with 30 Hands on Money, I was with a co host. You know, it's easy to bounce off someone else. But I feel like I have enough confidence and enough respect in myself that I think I could talk about my troubles and my achievements and all that shit along the way to build a big following just alone by myself. And that's what I'm trying to do because there's not a lot of single hand podcasts out there that are very successful. And again, that's the goal of it all. Is people want to be successful and make that money and fucking drive a nice car and have a nice house and live a life worth living. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Sorry, I had to take a shit or something, whatever. So I don't remember what I was talking about, but either way. So basically, this is kind of just like an introduction to everything and what I'm going to do and what the steps I'm going to be taking and what to be expecting from me at least. I'm gonna have a lot of guests on here because doing it by myself, I feel like it's fairly difficult to come up with content. Have like a one-on-one conversation. It's so much easier about me talking about myself. But I'm going to have a lot of guests on here and a lot of important people in my life and people that I look up to and people that I feel like you guys can relate to as well. And that's just the whole premise of it is I want you guys to feel comfortable. I want you guys to feel like you have someone to look out or someone to look up to technically because I feel like when I was younger, I didn't necessarily have many people in my life that I feel like I can go to for advice. I was very like shy. Not necessarily shy. I guess shy is a bad word, but more of a secluded, I guess. I was very to myself. And then until I started getting older, I became more open and opening myself up to everything and risking or seizing opportunities, I guess. But that's basically the premise of what this podcast is going to be. And this is just like a trailer, a little teaser. And I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. I don't know platforms it's going to be on yet, but I'm sure you'll be able to find it anywhere. Most likely YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, and Apple Music. Alright, you guys have a good week or weekend whenever the fuck I post this. But catch you guys later on the next one.